Episode 2 begins with a scene set in 2008, showing Kim with his boss. The boss explains that several of their soldiers had previously gone to North Korea to establish peace but were killed in Singapore, Japan, and Hong Kong. He reveals that this was the work of Jong's son, a deputy director at the General Bureau of Intelligence, and orders Kim to kill him. In the next scene, Kim is on his motorcycle, pursuing Jong's son, who is traveling in a car with his soldiers. They enter a tunnel, where Kim confronts them and opens fire, killing everyone. He then gets into the car with Jong's son and drives off, but they are soon intercepted by North Korean soldiers. Kim tells Jong's son that this is the place where they will both die, and subsequently pushes the car into the water. Later, news reports cover the incident. It is assumed that the person who killed the boss must have been a North Korean soldier, and both men are presumed dead. Kim's boss watches this on TV, laughs, and remarks, "I guess he really wanted a vacation, so he left." In the following scene, Kim arrives at the hospital because his wife, Eun-ji, is pregnant and about to give birth. He is informed that surgery is underway. When the doctors emerge, Kim asks what happened. They tell him the baby, a girl, is healthy, but they could not save his wife. Kim goes inside and sees his daughter, Min-ji. His wife is still alive and speaks to him, telling him to let go of his past. She urges him to take care of Min-ji and raise her to be someone whom everyone can love. After saying this, she passes away. In the next scene, Kim points a gun at his boss and demands to be discharged, reminding him of the promise that he could go home after the operation. He threatens to kill everyone if his demand isn't met, and the boss agrees. We then see several scenes where Kim is with Min-ji, looking after her. For the first time, she calls him dad, and he celebrates her birthday and picks her up from school. We then return to the present to see what actually happened to Min-ji. Na Eun steps out of his academy but is confronted by Mino, the thug from the previous episode, and his friends. They grab Na Eun, drag him aside, beat him up, and take his phone. They send a message to Min-ji, asking her to meet behind the school gate because there is something they want to tell her. Min-ji arrives at the spot, only to find a group of students waiting there, including Harry. Harry tells her that Na Eun isn't coming because he is sick, but they have come in his place, and then she starts laughing. Meanwhile, Kim returns home hoping to see his daughter, but she isn't there. Elsewhere, Min-ji talks to Harry, mentioning that she has already transferred schools and asking if that wasn't enough, implying the issue had already been resolved. However, Harry refuses to let it go and demands that Min-ji kneel before her. Min-ji replies, "I'm sorry, but I'm not like my father." Enraged, Harry starts hitting her and dares her to fight back. After being provoked repeatedly, Min-ji finally retaliates and easily defeats Harry. But Mino grabs Min-ji and strikes her. Min-ji tells 𝗖𝗍, "You brought an entire gang just to kill me. You're a coward." Enraged, 𝗖𝗍 picks up a brick and hits Min-ji on the head. Min-ji collapses, unconscious and bleeding. 𝗖𝗍 is terrified. She tries to wake her up but fails. Nearby students, who had been filming the incident, want to call an ambulance but Mino shouts at them not to. He confiscates their phones and warns them that if anyone tells the police, they will be implicated as accomplices. He tells 𝗖𝗍 not to worry, saying he knows someone who can dispose of the body. Later, he calls a man named Minchol and explains what he has done, but Minchol refuses to take the job. 𝗖𝗍 then grabs the phone and shouts, revealing that she is the daughter of Gang Chan, the chairman of Juan Construction. Nearby, the boss of the Golden Teeth gang, whom we have seen before, is sitting in a car and overhears this. Yet, Minchol still refuses the job. The boss summons Minchol and asks what that was all about. Minchol explains that a friend had asked him to do the job, but he had declined. The boss asks about the mention of Juan Construction. Minchol says a girl claimed to be the chairman's daughter. The boss insists that, no matter what, he must take the job. He calls back to confirm he will do the job. In the next scene, they arrive at the scene of the incident, inspect the body, and load it into the car's trunk. Later, he is with Harry and is dropping her off at home. The boss asks her, "Did you really kill him?" She confirms it and tells him to just dispose of the body, adding that he shouldn't worry about the money. However, the man replies that he has plenty of money. He is helping only because her father owes him a debt. Unbeknownst to him, Harry records everything she says. He drops her off at home and warns her not to mention anything about the day's events to her father, saying that if she does, they will both be killed. We then see the final scene of the first episode, where Kim is torturing Min-chul and demanding to know where his daughter is. Min-chul reveals that he had assigned the task of disposing of her to Min-chul, who lives at a specific location. Meanwhile, at the bank, Kim fails to show up for work. A colleague asks Sang where he is, and she says she will call him. Elsewhere, Kim is at home preparing his weapons to go confront Min-chul. Although Sang calls him, he does not answer. In the next scene, Min-chul is near the house. Inside, Min-chul and several of his associates are torturing a family. They beat an elderly man, demanding money, but the man insists he has none. His daughter is there with him. Min-chul says, "Fine, we'll sell your daughter's body parts to make money." They take the girl inside to cut her up. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. Min-chul asks, "Did you order something?" He goes to check who is there. In the next scene, the sound of something falling is heard, and we see Kim fighting off the attackers. He spots a girl whom a doctor is about to harm. He approaches the doctor, kills him, and saves the girl. Meanwhile, Min-chul is in a nearby room and hears the commotion. He stands by the door, ready to strike anyone who enters, but fails to take any action. Min-chul attempts to flee, but we see that thin wires, rigged by Kim before he even entered, slice into his legs. Kim then approaches Min-chul and subdues him. The scene shifts to a laundry room, where a woman watches a video of the fight involving Reston, specifically the footage where Jin-chul battled the thugs. Mr. Lim arrives and watches the video, visibly shocked by what he sees. The next scene takes us to a North Korean media room, where staff are monitoring news from across the country. A woman spots the video of Reston. Upon seeing Kim, she runs a search and identifies him. He is known there as Code 66. She contacts high-ranking officials to report the discovery. They meet with these officials, including Ryong, the general director of the intelligence agency. Ryong recounts the damage Kim inflicted on their republic and insists that, at all costs, he must be eliminated through a secret operation. However, his superior objects, noting that a peace agreement with North Korea is in place, with only a month remaining, and launching such an operation now could create serious complications. Frustrated, Ryong returns to his office and shouts, declaring the personnel there completely useless. Did they really think they can capture Kim alive? That is never going to happen. They have no idea just how dangerous he is. His assistant claims they have several operatives capable of facing Kim and suggests sending one to the south to eliminate him. However, Ryong insists that no one possesses the talent required to kill Kim. He wishes Gyung were still around. He recalls a past incident where Gyung single-handedly wiped out an entire squad. The assistant reminds him that Gyung had been killed. Ryong acknowledges this, noting that Kim stabbed Gyung in the back and seized Code 66 for himself. He then mentions Gong's younger brother, who is also among their operatives and is rumored to be just as talented as his sibling. He orders the brother to be brought to him so he can be sent to the south. Meanwhile, in the Republic of Korea, we are introduced to a director named Gug-chul, who is speaking with his assistant. She has seen the video from the restaurant and discusses Kim and Min-chul, noting that the two had fought many battles together in the north. She adds that Kim has recently been spotted in the south. The North is now aware he is alive and will stop at nothing to kill him, likely having already dispatched their own agents. Gug-chul declares that, come what may, they must find Kim before the North does. Elsewhere, Kim is seen torturing Min-chul, demanding to know how his illicit business involving women operates. Min-chul initially refuses to speak despite the repeated torture but eventually reveals that they coordinate via a Telegram group. He pleads, "You can't kill me, I'm a minor. The law will help me." Kim tells him, "You're still alive only because I suspect my daughter might be alive. If that turns out not to be the case, I'll kill you, and your family and friends, too." A message arrives in the group chat, stating that the body has been disposed of and warning them to keep their guys quiet, no one must find out. Kim calls them. They are in a car. Sang-man sees the call coming in and tells his boss, noting that Kim usually sent a text message first, but this time he called directly. The boss suspects it might be the police and tells him not to answer and to delete the group chat. Kim sees that the group has been deleted. He tells Min-chul to contact them, but Min-chul insists there is nothing he can do. Kim draws his gun and shoots him in the leg, demanding again that he make contact. Min-chul screams, saying nothing can be done now, and begs for forgiveness, admitting he lied, he isn't actually a minor. Kim flies into a rage and is about to kill him when the police arrive, stopping him. Meanwhile, Ha-ri is at home, terrified about Min-ji. She checks the news to see if a high schooler's body has been found, but finds no reports. She recalls the scene where Min-ji's father fought Min-chul. Gang Chan returns home and asks his wife about Ha-ri, is she asleep? Her mother says she doesn't know, Ha-ri has stayed in her room all day. Gang Chan goes to see his daughter and asks if she is okay, noting that she looks unwell. Ha-ri insists she is fine, attributing it to exhaustion. But Gang Chan asks if all this is happening to her because of Min-ji. He tells her to let that matter go, adding that if there is anything else, she can tell him. He promises to protect her no matter what. Later, she asks what Min-ji's father does for a living. He asks why she wants to know, and she replies that she is simply curious and nothing more. We shift to Golden Teeth and his employee. The employee asks why he let Gang Chan's daughter go, noting that they could have made a lot of money from her. Golden Teeth replies that they couldn't do that because if Gang Chan found out, he would tear them apart. He then recounts a scene from 2016 when he went with his boss to meet Gang Chan. By that time, Gang Chan had taken over several small companies and become a powerful figure. They were discussing a construction project, and Golden Teeth's boss apologized for the delay, promising to do his best. Gang Chan approached him and asked if he was truly sorry. When the boss affirmed this, Gang Chan challenged him to prove it. Consequently, broken glass was thrown at him, and he was subjected to torture. Returning to the present, the employee listens to this story and remarks that Gang Chan must be a psychopath. He then asks about the secret Gang Chan holds over him, but is told that it is none of his business. Meanwhile, we see Kim being taken away by the police. We also see a man named 𝗙𝗍 arriving in South Korea from North Korea by sea. He goes to a church and meets his assistant, who has been living in South Korea for a long time, and receives information regarding Kim. This implies that if you want to meet him, you must first go to prison, because Jin, a friend of Kim's, has recently been arrested and is being held there. He could tell you where Kim might be living. He also recalls a previous conversation with Ryong, who explained what happened to his older brother, how Kim treacherously killed him and assumed the identity of 𝗖𝗿𝗲. However, he was told that by killing Kim, he could take over the 𝗖𝗿𝗲 identity, though this would require traveling to the south. He decides to follow this advice. Meanwhile, Han-soo is in prison. He pleads with a police officer, insisting he is innocent. He claims he was merely telling Jin not to fight and hadn't even raised a hand against anyone, begging to be let go. After much pleading, he is released. However, he spots Gangsun nearby. Although he feels suspicious, he dismisses the thought, attributing it to his imagination. Gangsun had entered the restroom, killed a police officer, and taken his uniform. He then entered the prison and found Jin Chul, asking, "Are you Jin Chul?" Jin Chul asked who he was and if he had come from the north. When asked about the whereabouts of 𝗖𝗿𝗲, Jin Chul claimed to be the person in question. Gangsun showed him a photograph, insisting that the man in the picture was the one he sought, and demanded to know where he lived. When Jin Chul refused to answer, Gangsun threatened him with a gun. Jin Chul eventually revealed that the man lived in the building next to the laundry area but warned Gangsun to be careful, as he was going to die that day. Gangsun left without a word. There was another inmate with Jin Chul. Gangsun struck him, causing him to scream. A police officer rushed in to investigate, but Jin Chul managed to step out, lock the officer inside the cell, and escape. Let's turn to Golden Teeth, who was repeatedly listening to an audio recording of Ha-ri asking, "Did you kill Min-ji?" And hearing the reply, "Yes," followed by the question, "Did you dispose of the body?" He edits this audio. Meanwhile, his men are inside torturing a family and forcing them to sign land documents. Later, they come outside. Golden Teeth orders the trunk to be opened. A foul odor is wafting from it. He yells at his men, saying they should have covered it up properly. However, we see that Min-ji is actually still alive. She twitches her finger. We shift to the police station, where Kim's statement is being taken. They ask him who he is, but Kim sits silently, saying nothing. The police officers state that they need to scan his fingerprints. They proceed to do so. The scan initially registers but is subsequently denied. It is unclear exactly what happened. Just then, Kim's phone starts ringing. An officer notices the caller ID reads, "My daughter." Kim tries to reach for his phone. He fights off the officers standing outside. Inside, another officer is looking at the phone. Kim grabs him and tells him to stay quiet. He answers the call and asks, "Is that you, Minji?" The second episode ends. We'll meet again in episode 3. Until then, goodbye.